Hi, this is Brays of Red. If you couldn't tell from the title, I'm gonna talk about Hazbin Hotel, whose second season is coming out soon on Amazon. I'm gonna go up on a bit of some rambling. I have some notes, but this is mostly unscripted. So, Hazbin Hotel, it's, in case you don't know somehow, an adult animated musical series uh about sinners in hell and the princess of hell and trying to redeem sinners to get them to heaven to prevent them all from being murdered by exorcist angels. It's a big thing, but it it's an Amazon series produced by A24, but in 2019 the pilot dropped. And oh god, I remember seeing that everywhere. And I liked it when it came out. I loved the animation. The music was great. And there was a lot of hype. Uh, you know. And it's really great seeing indie animators be successful. And, a lot of people were glad to see an adult animated series that wasn't like just a kind of an ugly animated sitcom. God, uh, uh, adult animated sitcoms are not known for their wonderful animation, but yeah. Anyway, after there were okay, so there was some like controversy when the pilot came out. There was stuff about Vivzy Pop people didn't like. Some people took issue with, I think, some of the jokes in the pilot, or and Angel Just. There was a lot of issues with Angel Just because he's kind of in the pilot he's an insensitive, but he's also gay, and there's some issues with both the pilot and the series about the portrayal of a gay character. I'll get it more into the controversy later, but yes, it did get its first season on Amazon, and it was renewed for season two. Uh, Waiting on more of that to drop. So moving on from the pilot to the series, I enjoyed it. I thought it was camp. Like it's not perfect. It's very far from perfect. Uh, Maybe don't analyze the plot too heavily. You might find some plot holes or whatever, but it's fun. It's fun to watch. Uh, I do love the music. It's nice that like there was an issue with like modern like Disney remakes where they're doing songs but they're not really doing musical theater in the sense that the singers aren't acting and singing, which I thought Hazbin actually did pretty well, especially Poison, which in particular is a good song. Uh, that is probably my favorite of this series. I think my second would be Hell is Forever, but it's a pretty solid soundtrack. And there's not any issues with like audio mixing or anything. And there's no mic peaking like in the Lion King 2019. Oh god, I'm thinking about that YMS video. But that's getting off topic. Uh, but onto the controversy. There's been a couple, and my favorite is the accusation that it's like demonic propaganda or trying to attack Christianity. I don't think Angel Dust is going to destroy the church. Actually, he was an Italian American mobster, so like his family probably was Catholic. The plot twist is that's why he's in hell. We've got the Jack Chick version of Christianity running. Uh, there's also like for a while I saw stuff that it was actually like alt right and like homophobic and they're in hell because they're gay, which no. No. As far as like positive representation, uh like the most healthy relationship is Charlie, who's the princess trying to redeem everyone, and her girlfriend. Uh, and I think Hell of a Boss. It's in the same universe. Has a lot of okay people who are in queer relationships, and some pieces of queer relationships. But everyone can be a piece of shit. That that breaks all barriers. Uh, one in particular, there were some issues with people had with poison, if it was glorifying abuse, and if it was insensitive. And it does deal with sexual trauma and things like that. And I don't want to go into too much personal stuff with my life or go into detail, but I do have certain trauma and I do find him somewhat. I relate to some aspects of Angel Dust, and particularly the song Poison. I adore the line about uh wish I had a reason to live for tomorrow, because I think I and a lot of people have been in that situation where you're just trying to kind of numb yourself and you have trouble finding reasons to keep living other than feeling like you just kind of have to. Okay, so there's this one scene in particular where it's a single joke. Well, okay, so there's a bit of a gag in one of the episodes later after the episode about um Angel Dust and Valentino, where there's a character named Serpentius, and he's sort of flirting with the character Cherry Bomb, and but he's nervous about it, so he'll say something like, I want to buy you a drink," but then he like backtracks and says, "Because I'm buying a drink for everyone," and at one point he says he wants to have he tries to have sex with her, but backtracks and does the same thing. And the reason people are a bit upset is that he at one point gets dragged into a room by the people who took him up on the offer, uh, which I won't say it's a perfect joke or anything, but uh, I I feel like what people talking about it leave out is that in the next scene he's like back in the main room, so you can kind of assume he got out of that. Such maybe he cleared that up, which is what I take it as. Tell me I'm coping because I like camp musicals or whatever. But it's also the thing is, it's kind of just such an absurd situation. I think I don't think this. I don't think it's running on very cartoon logic, but and it's pretty obviously not like trying to mix a serious message with the joke. Again, it's a one-off joke, which and I would not take it as the series not taking the subject of sexual assault seriously. It the joke is more focused on the fact that he accidentally said he would have sex because with everyone because again cartoon logic, and he's not good at speaking, but yeah, I think people are digging way into that one joke, especially once I like I said he is out of that situation immediately afterwards. So apparently that got cleared up before, anything actually happened. But it's not any edgier than a show like South Park would do. South Park has done way edgier jokes about way edgier topics, and I don't see. Well, okay, there are definitely people who are like very anti South Park and have that on their DNI list, but I think people are being particularly harsh towards Hazbin Hotel in a way that's honestly a little bit unfair. But like, I won't say it was the perfect joke. Honestly, I'm not overly into the humor of the show. It doesn't like offend me or make me like not able to watch, but the jokes are just kind of there for me. I think there was like one joke that kind of got something out of me with the eggs. Sir Pentius's little egg buddies. The eggies, I think he calls them. I found that one kind of amusing. I like them as characters. They're fun. But that is getting off topic. But yeah, I think the show is very overhated, and there is absolutely, I'm not the only person to point it out, an insane hatedom for this camp little cartoon musical. But yeah, I think I have the position that a lot of Has-Been fans as is, like I said, it's fun, it's camp. I keep using that word. I keep using the word camp. I'm using it way too much, aren't I? But it's fun. It's nothing to take overly seriously. You probably shouldn't use it as a gauge for morality, like some people seem to think is the point. But it's something you can put on and listen to fun music and enjoy some fun characters. Everybody loves Alistair. I love Alistair. He's probably like the best character, honestly. And yeah, I do want to know where the especially the plot thread with Alistair. That seems interesting. I do want to see where the plot goes. So I'll be along for the ride. And those were my thoughts. If you like this video where I just kind of go on a bit of a tangent about something, let me know. Like and subscribe and all the other YouTube keywords. Check out the links in the descriptions below and tell me about cool stuff and give me money. That's the important part. Give me money. But anyway, I'll see you all in hell.